it's my pleasure to introduce Diana Wilkinson. As you know, who's the specialist Pagets nurse, does a fantastic job for the association, and she's going to tell us about resources for patients. And then after that, we'll get to the AGM, which hopefully won't take too long, and then we'll have lunch. Okay, so over to you first, Diana.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm Diana. I'm the nurse for the Pagets Association. I'm going to wake you all up. Did you have a nice summer? Yes. Great. Who's been on holiday? Who got their holiday cancelled? Okay. I had a nice holiday. How do you feel about 240 snaps of my holiday? There's only 4, you're all right. Okay, so I had a great time. I had 2 weeks off in August and I spent it at home. I live on the coast, on the east coast. So I spent 2 weeks at home, had a lovely time, great weather, had family come to stay. I sent them up a lighthouse, lots of steep stairs to climb and get a bit dizzy on the way down. I also climbed through a forest, trekked across fields and eventually found a helicopter where I was able to fly over our house and over the East Coast, and that was absolutely fantastic. I got taken on the fair. One of those rides that says if you've got any back or neck problems, don't ride. Yeah, that was good fun. And I met a couple of guys coming over the hill in Ravenscar. One of them's here today, give us a wave. Okay, so this gentleman had trekked 40 miles, they call it the Lightweight Walk, and they trekked 40 miles in a day across the North Yorkshire moors, which isn't easy, and they did it for Paget's disease. And Graham did it because his wife Janet has Paget's disease. I got the easy bit. I just got to give them a presentation at the end, but I was on holiday, and then I followed them to the local public house, so that was all right. So the point is that I can do all that. Graham can trek 40 miles across the North Yorkshire moors, but Janet can't. Janet, like many people who have Paget's disease, had mobility problems. She's a lot better now. She's had a knee replacement, but she had mobility problems, she had pain. You've heard about lots of problems about Paget's disease this morning, deafness if you have it in the skull potentially. I'd really like to talk to the people in Nottingham who couldn't come today because perhaps they're severely disabled, they can't get out of the house because of pain, because of maybe osteoarthritis affecting their mobility. And it's quite isolating. Who of you feels that kind of nobody really understands it? You know, have you had that feeling when you were diagnosed with Paget's disease that actually nobody knows what it is? Well, you're in luck today because we all know what it is, thankfully. So it's sometimes an uphill struggle. And sometimes just getting a diagnosis can be an uphill struggle. You've heard about people this morning who it's taken 2 years to diagnose. I run the Helpline. I can tell you about people who it's taken 10 years to diagnose. So it can be hard work, but the Pagets Association is here to tell you that actually you're not alone. We are the only charity in the UK to focus solely on Paget's disease of bone. So we're here to help. And can I just ask, why did you come today? Particularly the patients and the carers among you, why are you here? Talk to me. To understand more, yeah, to get information.
Because it was very local for me. It was the first time.
Great. Yeah, we were in Newcastle last year, in Nottingham today. We're going to Southampton next year. So we move about the country. We try to incorporate lots of different places. So basically, you've come because you want information. And that's one of the things we do. We inform, we educate, and we provide support, as well as funding research and also raising awareness. So we've got lots of resources. I'm not going to talk to you about them all today. We do have a support network if any of you would like to be put in touch with somebody else who has Paget's disease. If you want to be able to email somebody or ring them up, then we can sort that out for you. You've heard about the clinical guideline already. Nottingham, it's a centre of excellence. You've got some excellent clinicians, some excellent researchers, so we're in a really good place today. Again, we're probably in the wrong place because, you know, where are the people who actually need our help? They're probably not visiting the Centre of Excellence. We've got a couple of support groups. I know it's a bit of a trek, but if anybody wants to come to Sheffield on the 21st of October, I've got a support group going. It's a brand new one, first meeting, so we'll see what happens. You may have noticed our Pagets newsletter. If you are not a member and you would like to receive the newsletter, we are actually offering this to you free for the next 2 issues. There is a form in the pack that you've been given this morning, so please hand that to a member of staff and we will give you the next 2 issues of Pagets News free. And Mr. Kidney, who is on the front of the Pagets News there, he's in the audience today. So I'm going to talk about these things at the bottom. So the first one's education. Why have I got this camera pointing in my face? Why are we asking you to talk to the cameras? It's because we want to raise awareness, we want to educate people, not just people who've got Paget's disease, but the general public as well. Let's get over that barrier of nobody understands it, nobody knows what it's about. All the videos are on our YouTube channel. You will also find links to some of them on our website, and you can watch some of them on our website as well. So please take a look. We have some DVDs at the back of the room from previous days. So if you're interested in some of the talks that were given in Newcastle last year, so things like osteoarthritis we talked about, or in Manchester the previous year, then we're giving you the DVDs free today, so please take them if you're interested in those talks. They're at the back. We're not doing DVDs from today unless there is great demand. If there's great demand, we may do it, but at the moment we're not doing. There's also a new educational award. So this is to help other people outside of the charity to actually educate people about Paget's disease, and you'll hear more about that this afternoon. I'm sorry if you can't see some of these slides. We normally have a bit bigger screen, but we'll work with it. So last week we were in Norton Prairie in Runcorn in Cheshire. It's a museum and gardens, and we were filming because if you've read the latest Paget's newsletter, then you will know that we've been involved in funding some research at Norton Prairie, and this is looking at ancient skeletons that are about 800 years old that have Paget's disease in a slightly different atypical form, so it's not quite as we see it today. And we've been interviewing them for a film which will be launched on Paget's Awareness Day next year, which is the 11th of January. So if you want to learn more about that, and it is very interesting, you'll hear a bit more about it this afternoon from Professor Layfield. If you want to learn all the facts and exactly what each individual researcher has been looking at and why we've got the evidence that they've got to say that it's Paget's disease and what it might mean for you today, then please watch the video on the 11th of January. As you've heard this morning with regard to the pain study, we do often find opportunities for you to get involved in research if you would like to. So look out for those coming up on our website. And we've got a new research prize. It's so new that we haven't awarded it yet, but that's something that will be coming up in the future. So these are just some photographs from last week when we were interviewing the researchers, just to whet your appetite. So that's going to be on our website. It's also going to be on YouTube, but all you need to do is go to the homepage of our website on the 11th of January or thereafter, and you'll be able to watch that. It's also the anniversary of Sir James Paget. That's why it's on the 11th of January. We didn't deliberately choose the middle of winter. It is the anniversary of Sir James Paget, and we are lucky to have Sir Henry Paget here with us today. So I've mentioned the free DVDs at the back of the room. We've also got a free display pack. Now that is a bit of bunting, a couple of posters, a clinical guideline, some free pens. The free pens are basically a gift for putting the display pack up. And we'd like you to take these to your health centre, to your library, preferably to your health centre, and just ask, the receptionist, would you be willing to put this up? There is a letter in there that explains why we're doing it. If they say, oh no, we only put laminated posters up, then give us a ring, I'll laminate them a poster and I'll send it to them, it's not a problem. They're at the back of the hall as well. So, if you wouldn't mind supporting Pagets Day, watch the film, place a poster, take a pack, and please join the conversation on social media as well. It's Saturday, the 11th of January. Jen, our new member of staff, is going to be in the office with me, tweeting, posting on Facebook. We're going to get the word out there that there's a video to be watched on that day. We also had something that's new to us last week, actually, on Friday. We went to Norton Prairie again to have an Informal Members Day. And these are some of the photographs. It was an absolutely horrendous day in the sense that it was raining most of the day. But we managed to get about 10 minutes of sunshine where we could actually get into the walled garden and have a walk round. So it actually turned out really well. And I think members enjoyed it. It was an informal event with a short meeting and a guided tour. And we thought we might do something like that next year, but somewhere different. So when you fill your feedback forms in later today, if you could think about that, you know, do you like a long full day meeting like this? Would you prefer half an informal meeting and half a formal meeting, or do you like this thought of the informal day and just about a 45-minute short meeting? We're here to help. Tell us what you want. So this is just an example of what's going in the next newsletter, just to whet your appetite. You'll notice there's no advertising on any of these pages. We don't do that. It's just information. So we're focusing on research, and we're also telling Janet's story and looking at Graham's trek across the North Yorkshire moors as well, so you can hear about that. We're also working on a new website. These things tend to take a bit longer than planned, but I'm hoping that we'll have it for you early in the new year. There's plenty of information on our current website, so do have a look around there. If you are a member, you can log in to the members area where you can read all the previous newsletters and find out lots of extra information that's actually just for members in the member area as well. And we will be retaining that with the new website. We get some nice feedback. And this is really just to thank people like Janet for sharing their stories, because we know people appreciate it. We know they like to hear how other people are finding, what difficulties they're having, what treatment they're getting, and how they find life with Paget's disease. And we know that people find the website useful as well, that it's, I'll read it for you so you probably can't see it. Thank you for the information on your website. Most of the medical sites miss any human factor. They're so clinical that they are difficult to relate to. So we hope that the new website will be just as easy and informative. If you're not familiar with the Pagets Association, you will find in your information pack a Pagets Passport. This is something that we've developed in conjunction with the Southampton Centre of Excellence, and it's just a place where you can keep all the key information about your condition, whether you've had treatment, tests, etc. Of course, we've got the nurse helpline. I've been a registered nurse for 30 something years, and I've been with the Pagets Association since 2012. This was one of our success stories. It's when you're on the helpline, you tend to be at the sharp end. We know that lots of people do not have any symptoms from Paget's disease. They don't get any complications. They don't need any treatment, and that's great. But when you're on the end of a helpline, you tend to hear the opposite end. So this was a lady in Romania who needed some help for her grandfather. So I'll just read this. My grandfather is immensely grateful for the information you gave us. After a lot of searching for both the medication and a doctor that was willing to administer it, he has been given the zoledronic acid infusion. He feels much better and stronger by the day. He can actually feel his leg for the first time in years. So it's just really nice to have some feedback like that. And as a charity, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help in any way that we can. And I don't do any of this alone. Sue at the back, Sue's with the charity a number of years. Jen is our latest addition to the team. We are a team, we work together. So that's from me. Lots of ways to get in touch with us. They're all on our literature, so please do stay in touch with us. If we can help in any way, we will.
Okay, thanks Diane. A very comprehensive rundown of all the stuff we're doing.